Dr. Michael Dimancho on the 15th of June 2021, 6th Divisional Bambalang in Gokitunda Division by some people. And when you look at all this scenario, 1 year after, 1.5 years after, Fon is out. And now the Ndian 5, we still don't know whether they are alive or dead. Is there hope at the end of the horizon? Looking at the duration spent by the Fon, can we still say that there's hope that maybe the 5 are still alive of the Ndian?
Well, Jarvis, I would think that there's a reason why they kidnap in war situation. There are two reasons why they kidnap, be they terrorists or whatever you want to call them. There's a reason why they kidnap. The first reason is economical. People kidnap because they want ransom to be paid. That is the first reason that you think that there's a kidnap. Now, the second reason why people kidnap is that they want to show might, you know, that they are above the opponent. And usually there is a lot of jubilation when you kidnap somebody from the opposite camp. And talking about the opposite camp, in this situation, we are talking about the Republic of Cameroon against the separatists. And when the separatists, they kidnapped the 6 Ndian workers, it was like they were happy that they have broken one part of the Republic of Cameroon by taking part of their workers. And you know, in this situation, what is it? They are like singing the song and telling the opponents, this is what we have. If you want to have your people back, we need to have an exchange of something, be it money or be it the power or whatever they're asking for. These are the two reasons. Economic reason, and you see that for other issues, you see there are some other people that they kidnap that they have no link with the opponent, but they are kidnapping them for ransom, for money. So we have many of them. We have a lot of people who have been kidnapped. We have Ndian Fundi who was kidnapped. We have the Fon of Bambalang who was kidnapped. We have Christian Cardinal was kidnapped. We have 5 priests from the Manfred Diocese and the native who were kidnapped. In these cases, they are not battling with any other person, but here is economical. But when you have a person like the Dio of Batibo that was kidnapped, Namente was kidnapped and later on killed, is because the ransom was not paid on time. So we have now the Fon of Fon Yakum Kevin of Bambalang was kidnapped, though a Fon, but had link with
was the president
of the Norwest, of course. So getting from Yakum, they knew that they have gotten the Baobab of the funds in the Norwest who have the links with the government in Yaoundé. So but then they touch a different ground, because a fund in the Norwest carries much more of metaphysical powers than what they think. The fund is much more than, I don't even want us to compare the fund with the 5 or the 6 Indian kidnap, because it's no match. The fund
I see it's not much.
No, let me say, I want to explain. They are all human beings, but I want to get into a different stadium so that you understand what I mean. They are all human beings. That is true. Meaning that what? Let me take for example that your father is kidnapped is more of a concern to you than your neighbor. That is true. That's
okay, about proximity.
Yeah, proximity. That's what I want to say. It doesn't mean that the phone. It doesn't mean that the phone is, of course, in terms of power and in terms of representation, the phone is more than any other person. And let me tell you why. The phone represents a whole community. It's a village. That is why in the village, in Noni, we do not talk about he in reference to a phone. We talk about they, means that you represent a phone by the people. Means that once a phone is kidnapped, it's a whole village that is kidnapped.
But doctor, I want us to go constitutionally. If we look at the constitution of Cameroon, it is stated that no Cameroonian is more or less of importance than any Cameroonian. So what you say is more or important?
Yes.
Are we not going against the same constitution?
That is very true. You are talking about the political constitution.
No,
I'm talking about the traditional representation of it all.
Yes.
Because those are two different things.
Okay.
And if you want to talk about the ancient of it all, is the tradition.
Of course, tradition comes before
the government. That is clear. I grew up to know my traditional rights and my traditional responsibility and my traditional forbearance before I knew about what the government was talking about. And let us understand a point. A phone kidnapped is the obligation of every villager either to contribute to pay for ransom or to search for the phone. But someone who is working for the government, for example, we depend on the government, on its mercy, on its mechanism, and some people say the government mechanism is usually very slow. In that case, you cannot compare. Secondly, I would like to talk about the power that the phone holds. In most villages in the Northwest region, the phone is referred to as a lion. There's even a metaphor which refers to the phone as the lion rock. Means that what? You cannot kill a phone. You cannot. I insist. You cannot kill it. And those who have even attempted to kidnap phones in the Northwest region, those reporters have died very, very unnatural deaths. And that is why I told people when phone Kevin Yakum was kidnapped, I said those guys, they wanted to take the phone to give them protection. Because the phone being in their camp was protecting them. Instead of them protecting the phone, they knew that the phone with them, they were going to have all that metaphysical power to guide and protect them. I'm talking from the traditional point of view.
Yeah, looking at it from the tradition.
From the traditional point of view.
And the phone was killed in womb.
Well, the phone, look at the who, and you want us to get to the politics of the phone killed in womb? And those of who are the grazers of the tea and whatsoever. I don't want to get that.
The phone of Israel was killed.
Don't mind. And that is why when I learned the phone survived, I said, this is a phone who was chosen and appointed by the gods. There are phones who get onto power unhoolily.
Okay, we'll be coming to that.
Well, of course, I want to say all this thing clear as a traditionalist, because I say without any fear of contradiction, because I know how those things are done.
So if I get you correctly, Dr. Michael, so that I can get to Mr. Vitalis, is that phones who are kidnapped and who probably are killed, there's a consequence.
There is.
And so, phones who are kidnapped and are not killed, it means it's a test that they were actually picked by the gods and not by the
They are the Solomons of their tribes. And let me just say one thing about the six, because you're not going to talk about the phones and ignore the six who are now the five. Now, the issue is that, in the world of legitimacy, there is always this issue, and we have gotten that with the separatists. When they commit an act, they also want to show proof of it. They want to sing it to the who where this has happened. I want to express a lot of hope to say that it is just a matter of time that the families of these people and the government at large has not been able to meet up with the demands of these people to be released. I want to express the hope here live that the five are still alive, and that it's just a matter of time, and that negotiation should actually advance for them to be released. When the one was killed, all of us, we knew that he was killed. There was no hidden thing about it. And the modus operandi of these guys is that when they commit an act, foolish as they are, they want to first of all just immediately show that they have done this.
Okay.
Here we are. We did. This is what happens. And if we are not had this from the Ndian 5, we have hopes that the Ndian 5 are still alive, and therefore negotiations will advance.
That means they are shake on the bee.
Well, of course. It should.
Okay. Because we were told that shake no day. And now we are seeing that shake no day.
Well, of course, shake no day.
Well,